All right, get ready. We're about to take a tour of the single most complex, most incredible object in the entire known universe. And by the end of this, you'll have a much better idea of how it literally builds your reality from the ground up. Let's dive in. So let me just start with a big question. What do you think is the most complicated thing we've ever found? I mean, really think about it. It's not some galaxy billions of light years away or a bizarre particle in a physics lab. Here's a hint. You are using it this very second. It's the thing that's processing my voice, making sense of these words, and forming thoughts about it all. Yep, you guessed it. It's your brain. And that's our mission today. We are going to tell the story of your brain, and we're going to do it from the inside out, building it piece by piece.
Okay, so here's the thing about studying the brain. It's really hard. It doesn't exactly give up its secrets easily. For a long time, some of our best clues actually came from accidents. And one of the most famous, and frankly one of the most bizarre accidents in medical history, completely changed how we see our own minds.
Let's hop into time machine and go back to 1848. I want you to meet a railroad worker named Phineas Gage. One day, a horrible accident with some gunpowder sent a massive iron rod, like a spear, shooting straight through the front of his skull. And here's the unbelievable part. He lived. He could walk, he could talk, he seemed to be okay.
But, and this is the twist, he wasn't okay. The Phineas Gage his friends and family knew was gone. Before the accident, he was known as a calm, hardworking, respectable guy. Afterwards, he became impulsive, mean, and cursed constantly. His friends even said he was no longer Gage. His personality had been completely erased and replaced.
This tragic story gave scientists their first massive clue for a concept we now call brain localization. It's a simple but profound idea that different specific parts of your brain do different specific jobs. They control your behavior, your emotions, your personality. And that idea? That's going to be our map for this whole tour.
So let's start at level 1, the basement, the most ancient part of your brain, the hindbrain and the midbrain. You can think of this as your body's automatic life support system. It's the first part that evolved, and its main job is just, well, keeping you alive.
Let's look at the crew down here. You've got the medulla, which is basically the autopilot for your heartbeat and breathing. You never have to think about it. Then there's the pons, which acts like a bridge for information and movement. The cerebellum, which literally means little brain, is in charge of your balance and coordination. And the reticular activating system, that's kind of like your brain's dimmer switch, controlling how alert or sleepy you are. All of this just runs in the background 24/7. Just above that ancient foundation is the midbrain. It's a small but mighty little coordinator. It takes in sensory info, what you see, what you hear, and uses it to coordinate basic movements. It's a crucial relay station for the whole operation.
All right, let's move up to level 2. This is where things start to get a lot more interesting and personal. We're now entering the forebrain, and specifically a collection of structures called the limbic system. This is the primal emotional core of who you are. This is where you feel. You've got the hippocampus, which is absolutely vital for forming new memories. It's what's working right now to help you remember any of this. Then there's the amygdala, your raw emotion center. Think anger, fear, frustration. And the hypothalamus? It's the regulator, controlling your hunger, your thirst, your body temperature, all those basic drives. This is the part of you that feels, remembers, and wants.
And this brings us right back to Phineas Gage. Remember that iron rod? It tore through a part of his forebrain, the very area that's supposed to manage and put the brakes on all those raw emotions bubbling up from the limbic system. So the hardware for feeling was still there, but the software that gave him self-control, it was destroyed.
And that brings us finally to level 3, the top floor. This is that famous wrinkly surface that everyone pictures when they think brain. It's called the cerebral cortex, and it's the most evolved, most complex part. This is the CEO of the entire operation, and it's what makes us so uniquely human.
Now this cortex is split right down the middle into 2 halves, or hemispheres. You've probably heard of this, left brain, right brain. And they do have different specialties. The left hemisphere is typically the analytical one. It's great with language, logic, and details. The right hemisphere is more of the artist. It handles creative tasks, recognizing faces, and understanding spatial relationships.
So, you might be wondering, how did these 2 very different halves work together? Well, they're connected by this massive bridge of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. You can think of it as a super fast internet connection, an information superhighway that lets your logical side and your creative side talk to each other constantly. It's what makes you one whole, functioning person. Each of those hemispheres is divided even further into 4 main departments or lobes. You've got the frontal lobe, right at the front, that's the boss, in charge of your personality, judgment, and planning. The parietal lobe processes sensations like touch and temperature. Your occipital lobe, way in the back, is all about vision. It's what's letting you see this right now. And your temporal lobes, by your ears, handle sound and language, like listening to me speak.
Speaking of language, let's zoom in on 2 super important spots. It's a really simple but crucial difference. Broca's area, which is in your frontal lobe, is what physically lets you talk. It produces speech. Wernicke's area in your temporal lobe is what lets you understand speech. So one helps you talk, the other helps you understand. 2 different jobs working together for one seamless conversation.
So, we've just taken this incredible tour of the brain with all its specialized parts and specific jobs. But what if I told you that this detailed map we've just drawn isn't permanent? Because your brain isn't a fixed piece of computer hardware. It has a hidden superpower. And that superpower has a name: plasticity. It is the brain's absolutely mind-blowing ability to change, to adapt, to literally reorganize itself. Every single time you learn something new or have a new experience, you are physically rewiring your brain. It's not static. It's a living, evolving masterpiece.
And that really brings us to the core of it all. Our tour showed us that yes, the brain is localized, there are specific parts for specific jobs, but the story doesn't end there. It is also wonderfully, powerfully, and beautifully flexible.
Which leaves us with one last, pretty profound question to think about. If your brain is actively being shaped and rewired by everything you do, everything you learn, and every single thing you experience, who do you want it to become?